Welcome back to Ride Next, your ultimate destination where every ride tells a story of passion, power, and precision. Today, we're not just diving into a motorcycle, we're diving into a piece of motorcycling history that's been reimagined for the modern world. This is the 2025 Kawasaki W800, a motorcycle that refuses to follow trends because it's too busy honoring a legacy. The W800 isn't about chasing the latest tech or flashiest features. It's about something more enduring. It's about soul, about craftsmanship, about a pure riding experience that connects you to the road, the machine, and the heritage of motorcycles in a way few bikes today can offer. And Kawasaki has once again struck a beautiful balance between retro aesthetics and modern-day engineering with the latest 2025 version of the W800. Let's talk about its design first, because that's where the heart of the W800 really lies. One look at it and you're instantly transported to the golden age of motorcycling of the 1960s and early 70s. The W800 draws its DNA from the original Kawasaki W1, a bike that defined an era. Everything about this bike screams vintage: the classic teardrop fuel tank with beautiful pinstriping, the round headlamp encased in chrome, the twin-pod analog gauges, and even that upright seating posture. And yes, it still features the iconic bevel gear-driven camshaft. That's not just a design statement, it's a mechanical marvel that very few bikes today dare to include. The 2025 model carries forward the signature round headlamp, but this time, it's LED. That's where Kawasaki subtly reminds you that while this bike is drenched in retro character, it's very much built for today's roads. The tank remains gorgeously sculpted, holding about 15 liters of fuel, and the chrome-finished fenders and mirrors continue to add sparkle to the bike's timeless personality. It's available in a rich new shade called Vintage Emerald Green that practically glows under sunlight and adds a touch of elegance you usually associate with classic European bikes. But Kawasaki pulls it off with that unique Japanese attention to detail. And speaking of detail, let's talk about that engine. At the heart of the 2025 W800 is a 773cc air-cooled, vertical twin engine. This is no race bike, and it doesn't pretend to be. It makes around 51 horsepower at 6,500 revolutions per minute and 62.9 Newton-meters of torque at 4,800 revolutions per minute. But here's the thing, it's not about numbers with this bike. It's about character. The moment you fire up that engine, you feel a loud, resonant thump, a mechanical heartbeat that's smooth, linear, and deeply satisfying. The firing order, the engine tuning, and the simple joys of riding a torquey twin-cylinder motorcycle with a generous mid-range make it a unique experience in a world full of high-revving sport machines. It's mated to a 5-speed gearbox, which again emphasizes that less is more. The gear shifts are buttery smooth, with just the right mechanical feedback, and the power delivery is remarkably linear. Whether you're riding through the city or cruising through countryside highways, the W800 never overwhelms you. It doesn't ask to be pushed. It asks to be appreciated. It encourages a relaxed riding style, with smooth roll-ons and a riding posture that lets you enjoy the scenery instead of racing past it. And on the note of riding comfort, the 2025 W800 remains as comfortable as ever. The upright handlebars, mid-mounted footbags, and a plush, bench-style seat create an ergonomic triangle that feels perfect for riders of all sizes. The seat height stands at around 790 millimeters, which is approachable for shorter riders yet tall enough to offer a commanding view of the road. The suspension setup includes 39 millimeters telescopic front forks and twin rear shocks with adjustable preload. It's not cutting edge, but it's tuned beautifully for real-world comfort. You glide over rough patches, absorb small potholes with grace, and never feel beat up after long rides. The frame is a steel double cradle unit, providing a solid and predictable feel to the ride. It's stable, planted, and confident through corners. The bike weighs around 224 kilograms, which might seem on the heavier side, but it's well balanced. Once you're moving, the W800 feels nimble and predictably perfect for new riders and seasoned cruisers alike. Braking is handled by a 320mm front disc with a twin-piston caliper and a 270mm rear disc. It's equipped with dual-channel ABS as standard. The feedback is progressive and confidence-inspiring, which complements the bike's relaxed riding demeanor. It's not aggressive, but it doesn't need to be. Now, even though this is a retro-inspired motorcycle, Kawasaki hasn't ignored safety or refinement. The 2025 W800 comes with updated electronics under the skin to meet the latest emission norms without compromising on its old-school charm. The fuel injection system is tuned for precise throttle response, while still delivering that classic analog feel. It's a fine example of engineering discipline, keeping things modern without losing the essence of what makes the Spike special. In terms of instrumentation, the W800 stays true to its roots with two large round dials, one for speed, one for revs, each bordered with chrome. But there's a subtle digital screen embedded within the speedometer that provides essentials like trip meters, fuel gauge, and odometer. It's minimalist but functional. No touch screens, no ride modes, no distraction, just pure riding. And if you're wondering about customization, this is where the W800 shines even brighter. Kawasaki understands that buyers of this motorcycle often see it as a canvas. That's why there's a range of accessories including fly screens, luggage racks, engine guards, and more. Whether you want to build a cafe-tilde copyright racer, a brat-style bike, or a weekend tourer, the W800 serves as a brilliant base. What truly makes the W800 stand out in 2025 is the experience it offers. In contrast to today's tech-heavy motorcycles, it's a conscious throwback, yes, but not a gimmick. It's a refined, sophisticated retro machine that knows exactly what it is. It doesn't scream for attention, it earns respect. It doesn't dominate roads, it flows through them. And that in itself is a kind of luxury. In an age of distractions, the W800 offers connection to the road, to the ride, to yourself. And what about the price? The 2025 Kawasaki W800 comes in at around $10,999, positioning it within the reach of riders who are looking for authenticity over excess. It's not the cheapest classic-style bike on the market, but you're not paying for just specs here. You're investing in craftsmanship, character, and the kind of mechanical honesty that's getting harder to find. In markets like Europe and Japan, it's been praised for being one of the most reliable and aesthetically faithful modern classics out there. In North America, it's gaining a cult following, especially among mature riders who know exactly what they want, and younger enthusiasts who are discovering the joy of pure analog biking for the first time. So, who is the W800 really for? It's for the rider who appreciates heritage, for the purist who doesn't need 200 horsepower to feel alive, for the city commuter who wants comfort with elegance, for the weekend cruiser who enjoys the long, scenic route, and yes, for the collector who wants to own a bike that will age gracefully and still look timeless 20 years from now. As we wrap up today's ride, it's clear that the 2025 Kawasaki W800 isn't just a motorcycle, it's a statement, a deliberate act of slowing down in a fast world, a celebration of simplicity done right. Kawasaki hasn't just built a bike here, they've preserved a legacy, and in doing so, they've given a new generation the chance to fall in love with the kind of motorcycle that doesn't just take you places, it stays with you long after the engine's turned off. Thanks for joining us here on Ride Next. If you enjoyed this step dive into the soul of the 2025 Kawasaki W800, hit that like button, subscribe for more reviews steeped in storytelling, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments because every rider has a story, and we'd love to hear yours. Until next time, ride safe, ride free, and ride with heart.